Thank you for allowing the interruption. Ms. Thomas, your next question for Mr. Stage, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Stajan, just to clarify, I know that you've testified to this before, but I'm going to read the offenses that you are currently serving time for in Michigan, and can you please just let me know if they're correct? It is felony weapons carrying concealed, felony assault with dangerous weapons or felonious assault, and then a felony for assault with intent to commit great bodily harm, less than murder, or by strangulation. Are those the three convictions that you're currently serving time for in Michigan?
Yep.
Okay. You stated that you would have a job lined up. Can you just remind us of what that job is?
EAB fabrication.
And where is that located at?
Quincy, Michigan, on Cole Street.
And where would you be staying? You said you had a residence lined up. Where would you be staying?
At my mother's house.
You said your mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. Kind of broke up there for a second. Okay. When is the last time that you saw your oldest child?
February 16th.
Of 2024?
Yeah.
Was that like during a video call?
Yep. I haven't received no pictures, nothing else after that.
How often were you visiting your oldest child?
I had one visit.
Okay. And while you're incarcerated, have you addressed or been able to take any classes or anything for domestic violence?
They haven't provided any. I got to before I leave prison.
Okay. Do you have any idea for Indiana how long the sentencing guidelines are for the escape charge that you're facing there?
From what I do know about my attorney, it should be getting dropped to a failure to return to a lawful detention, which would be, I'm pretty sure, 6 months to a year.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions, Mr. Brooks?
Well, about your father, what town does he live in?
Union City, Michigan.
Where is that?
It's about 15 minutes west of Coldwater, Michigan.
Okay,
It's still in Branch County.
all right. This job that you have mentioned on direct examination, is that company a company that's owned by someone in your family, or have you got some other inside connection?
My dad's the supervisor there, and I've had a job there before.
What do they do?
Reinspection, general labor, fabrication.
And what was your hourly rate?
And I believe it was $17, $18 an hour.
Were you working full-time?
Yes, sir.
I believe you told me your father's home has been evaluated by the department.
The last time I talked to him, which would have been about 5 days ago, he told me that he was waiting on paperwork to get sent to him to sign for adoption, and he said it would be up to the judge after that.
Well, that's right. Does he live alone?
So my grandmother she lives there as well, but they're two conjoined houses.
It's a duplex.
They got a 5-bedroom duplex that's connected to it was a garage that they turned into another living residence.
A mother-in-law house. That's
Yeah,
what they call it. So there's plenty of room for these two little girls.
oh yeah, most definitely. It's just my grandmother in the 5 bedrooms.
Do you know of your own knowledge whether your father's ever had problems with the Department of Social Services in his own life as opposed to you?
As opposed to me, no. I know that when I was younger, I had made some allegations on him, towards him, and they were involved, but by himself, no.
All right. Is there anything you want this court to know about your hopes with respect to these? Well, we're only talking about now the oldest child. What you would hope would happen here? I'd like you to tell the court yourself.
I don't know. I just hope that if anything, that they could be placed with my family, so that way I'd be able to know for sure that I'd still be able to see them whenever I'm on the straight and narrow. And I know that they would be able to thrive there. I mean, all my cousins and everything, when they were over there, it was always positive to be able to go to my grandma's house.
Mr. Stage, I'm gonna get personal with you for just a second and then I'll quit. You don't strike me as the typical convict. By that, I mean, you can speak well, you think clearly. What are you doing there?
Just a few setbacks, went down the wrong lane and just, I don't know, I just need, I guess I needed time to sit down and to realize what I was doing with my life.
Were drugs involved in this?
Yes, sir. It was a major impact on my decisions.
Oh, I can believe that. But you seem to be a reasonable, rational human being. Are you?
I mean, I believe that, yeah. Only reason that I've really had issues is when I was under the influence of a substance.
Now, I know most institutions issue points to people. So have you got any points racked up with the Jackson prison system?
I think I've gotten one out of place ticket for taking too long to get back to the unit.
One ticket. Is there anything else you'd like the court to know?
If possible, is there any way that I could either get a visit or some type of pictures of my daughters?
I'll discuss that with the department, when they take the stand, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You'll have that answer as you sit in that room. I have no further questions.
Ms. Heiss?
Thank you. Mr. Stage, the parent education that was mailed to you and you mailed back, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you learn from those papers?
I've learned a lot about the way that a child thinks and to how you have to rationally perceive things in order to be able to transfer it to a child. It's not just like trying to show something to an adult.
Okay, what is the oldest child's age?
She's 2.
And what are her developmental milestones that she is experiencing?
Your Honor, I
experiencing-
would think I'm going to object on the grounds of the man's in jail, has been in jail. He's being asked questions. I don't see how he can conceivably answer except in the abstract.
The abstract is what I'm asking him about, what he's learned about a 2-year-old, what she should be doing and what is, if she's meeting those milestones, what those milestones would be.
Yeah, I think if he can, he'll let us know if he can answer them, and if he can't, then he can't. So I'm gonna overrule the objection. Do you need her
Okay,
to
so-
repeat the question?
No, I understand. Basically, the motor skills on on being able to operate with, like you said, numbers, the alphabet, being able to know their colors, and on more specifically on a time schedule, I feel like she's not just specifically her, but on track for a 2-year-old.
You have visited with her once. Is that really close to the date of birth of her younger sister?
Yeah, Monroe was 2 days old when I had to visit.
Okay, and you visited by Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
Did she recognize you?
Um, I'd say so, yeah. I said her name, she dropped her presents and ran to the phone, so.
Okay, and then what financial support support of any kind have you provided for the child since your incarceration?
I mean, I haven't been able to really provide anything. It's not like I can send money home.
So you don't have any resources on the outside that can provide for the child? For
yeah.
example, a savings account, a house that you own, anything like that?
Not at the current moment, no.
With respect to your plan, if you were released, you said that you would go to AA and some of those things, right?
Yeah.
What would your goals be in that?
Just to maintain sobriety, to get more one-on-one with a higher spirit, get into the word. Just mainly what you would go to AA for, to maintain sobriety.
Okay. With respect to domestic violence, you said that you have not had training at this point on domestic violence. You hadn't taken any classes or had counseling.
No, ma'am.
Do you still have a relationship with the children's mother?
There was a no contact order in place. I haven't had communication with her in several months.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all my questions.
Mr. Stage, you indicated in your statements to Ms. Thomas that you were taking some psychiatric medications. Do you know what those are for?
For anger management, it's an antidepressant, and it would be more of a mood stabilizer.
Thank you. Any follow-up questions, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anyone else have any follow-up questions?
You're still taking those meds?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Do you receive counseling along with the medication for your for those reasons?
It's not a service here.
Thank you. Nothing further.
All right. Thank you for your testimony. Your next witness, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Ms. Brinker.
Ricker, come on up for our witness.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Good morning, Ms. Brinker. Today, there are two, I guess, reports, so to speak, for review. There is the report that was submitted on September 30th for the October 8th hearing. And that includes the court report, the case service plan for both of the biological parents, and then a forensic fluid screen as related to the biological mother. And then you also provided a memo for the hearing today. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Are there any other documents that have been circulated since the last time we were in court that we should be aware of?
There is not, no.
Okay. And as it relates to your reports, and specifically as it relates to the children or Mr. Stage, are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to the documents?
I just want to add that for the memo, I know we want to talk about, the judge had wanted to hear how the girls were doing. And in the first report, I had reported that the younger child was having some kind of head jerks, kind of twitching movements, and they took her in for a second opinion, and then she just had was seen by a neurologist on 10/24, and then she had an EEG scheduled for seizure movement, and that occurred on 11/12, and the results just came in this morning, and there are no concerns from the neurologist, so she's been cleared medically, but they do have a follow-up appointment scheduled for 12/5.
Thank you for that update. Okay. At this point in time, do you believe that the children would be at a substantial risk of harm if they were to be returned to or placed in Mr. Stage's care and custody today?
Yes, I don't know how he could possibly, they could be returned to him since he's incarcerated until at least September of next year.
For this court report, the one that was submitted on September 30th, were you able to send that to Mr. Stage?
I did, yes, and I'm not sure what happened because I did include a picture of the girls in it so he could see them. Developmentally, I included it for the court and for everyone to see so that he would have a picture. And I also did he did, I think I put it in the memo, he sent me a letter for the older child's second birthday and wrote a letter to her. And so I wrote him a letter back, and that I mailed that, I think, maybe last week or the week before I knew he was transferred, but letting him know that I had received the letter and given it to her. And also provided him with an email address that the foster parents have set up for any time that he or his parents would like pictures of the girls or updates on the girls. They're happy to provide that information. So all of that information was included in a letter to him.
Okay. During this review period, so since July, I know it's a little difficult. Mr. Stage, his case service plan has several steps from when he's in jail versus when we're in prison, and then if released. So during this review period, how would you describe his compliance with or benefit from the portion of the case service plan that applies to his current status?
Well, unfortunately with prison, even though there's supposed to be more services available to him, he was just staged at the reception center because there was no place for him to go. And they said that they did not provide services at that stage. And once he got transferred to his, end destination facility, then more services would be applicable to him. But unfortunately, the time that he spent at Idler was not conducive to him having any case services.
Right. Were you aware or were you notified when Mr. Stage was moved or writ out from?
No, I was notified on Friday.
Okay. Just to reiterate for purposes of the termination component, what were the main conditions that caused, as it relates to Mr. Stage, that caused the children to, or the child to come into care?
It was substance abuse, domestic violence, and I believe homelessness.
Was criminality a concern at that point in time?
Yes, it was.
As relates to, I know that this is in your report, and so I just want to highlight it, but as relates to looking for relative placement, can you please again reiterate which relatives were explored for potential placement?
Yeah, so initially when the older child came into care, his father did come forward and asked to be assessed. And he was denied placement due to him being a confirmed perpetrator of abuse of Skylar. he was recently expunged from central registry, and therefore we just did another home assessment for his father on 9/29. When asked about the CPS history and confirmed perpetrator of abuse, he denied it, so there was nothing on his record. He took no accountability for the actions, again stating that Skylar was a difficult child, and he didn't indicate that he needed to make any changes to his parenting style. That has been the only home that has come forward. We've also, the agency also let him know at this point, the girls were stable in their placement and in foster care, and that the girls would not be moved, and that he would be eligible to be assessed for adoption once termination did occur.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to look at the relative or the grandpa's home?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And was it otherwise appropriate?
It's, so his father lives in the garage. It's kind of difficult to explain. So his father and stepmom live in the garage that they converted kind of into a home. There were some concerns in that living space. However, the home is connected to his, to Skylar's grandmother's home, and there was no concerns in that home environment, other than the fact that the father, Matthew Stage, is obviously connected and in that home environment.
As it relates to, well, let me just ask, the materials that you've sent to Mr. Stage, let me just ask, what materials have you sent to Mr. Stage?
In his last reporting period or previously, I mean, I've sent him parenting classes previously when he was at Hillsdale, and like he stated earlier, and I stated previously on the record, you know, before he had the device where he could text me, and, you know, we would communicate that way, and I would send him updates that way. Unfortunately, he was not able to receive pictures, but so we used to communicate that way. And then when he got transferred to Egler, the communication up there is very challenging, even for me, to try to get information about him and his services and what's going on with his case. So at this point, I have mailed him obviously the termination petition, and then all updated court reports, updated case service plans, medical passports, that type of information.
For the oldest child, how old is she?
Just turned 2.
And how long has she been in care?
She has been in care since, I believe, July. Need to look back here. She came into care, yeah, July 10th of 2023.
So for about 1.5 years, she's been in care?
Yes.
And she's 2 years old?
Yes.
Has she been in the same placement for the entirety of her time in foster care?
I believe she was initially placed someplace different for about a month. And then I think they asked for her to be moved for whatever reason. And then she's put in this home for the rest of the time.
Okay. Does the older child have any bond from your knowledge with Mr. Stage?
I don't believe so, no. I mean, I don't know how they could when, you know, they don't see each other and there's no connection.
What, during your time as a foster care worker, what was the visitation history like between the oldest child and Mr. Stage since July of 23?